Hello, Geminis. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading, Geminis. We're going to get right into your reading. Let me give you the questions first for the moon in Sagittarius. I believe the moon is currently in Scorpio, right? So for those of you all who like the questions and kind of get the questions before the moon moves through the zodiac signs, this is for you. Here are the questions for the moon in Sagittarius. I believe the moon is currently in Scorpio, so it's going to move into Sagittarius after that. So here are the questions as you're dreaming bigger, that dream bigger sign, dreaming bigger, aiming higher, all of those wonderful things. First question is, what is your heart yearning to learn and do? The second question is, where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? The third question is, what are the main challenges on your path to your envisioned future? The fourth question is, what are there ways to solidify your foundation for taking off? Perhaps saving money so that you can leave your job or learning a new skill. And then last but not least, Geminis, is are you on your path, right? Let's get into it. Let's get right into it, Geminis. Let's get right into it. The energy has already been cleared. I've already prayed over your cards. Let's see what's in them. Let's see what answers are in your cards, Gemini. I'm talking to you wherever Gemini is in your birth chart. You've definitely gained a lot of wisdom from whatever it is you've come through. Here we have the Goddess card. Some wisdom was definitely passed down, from your parents, both sides of your family. Some wisdom was passed down to you, and I definitely see you being victorious at moving forward away from energies that, are impatient, energies that are careless, boastful, brutal, energies that see you as competition, jealous, they're lazy, they're inflexible, they're domineering, they're prideful and dogmatic, selfish types of energies, impulsive. So that has been passed down, through just the bloodline. So somebody's gained that wisdom that way, right? So you don't need to lament over what you're leaving behind. All you need to do is get on your horse and move away from those types of energies. So I see you in celebratory mode. Somebody has at least 8 gifts and talents. But here's the thing, your head and heart are no longer at war with each other. You're not allowing yourself to even be inspired to go back to energies that you may have been lamenting over in the past. You're just continuing to move forward, and you learn how to save yourself. So because you've done that, you've learned how to save yourself and cut ties with 2 types of energies that could have manipulated you out of money. They could have manipulated you, in a love situation. They could have manipulated your emotions to help them plant seeds for a business and then cut you out of it, or whatever they were doing, whatever their energy is. And I say, just see you as competition up front. Source is saying to you, you learn how to save yourself, and that was passed down through the umbilical cord on both sides of your family, right? So you're cutting ties with those types of energies that, like I said before, have ulterior motives. But guess what? They have the power themselves with their gifts and talents to also create, just like you're creating, right? So I do see for somebody, there it is, passed down to you. Yep. Something was definitely passed down through the bloodline. So you don't have to lament over anything that Source is telling you to move on from. You have now more gifts and talents because of your obedience to Source to move on from those types of energies. Those energies are very draining. So as much as you pour into them, they'll keep taking if you keep pouring into them. Pouring your creativity, pouring your fertility, like your creative ideas. They'll take the ideas and move on, move forward. So Source is saying you're closing out cycles with those types of energies, Gemini, because guess what? In full Mercury mode, you learn how to read between the lines. That was passed down to you, right? So now that you're able to handle more gifts and creativity, there's energies that are upset. They paying attention to everything you're saying, right? They seeing if you're attached to your demons of fear, doubt. If they're trying to, like there's people talking about people are crazy enough to believe, certain things. Yeah, you were crazy enough to believe. I say this in the highest compliment, to believe in yourself, to believe in the things that you said you can create for yourself. And guess what? You're doing it. To have passion enough to say, okay, I'm staying focused on what I'm creating. you know, to water the seeds that I'm planting for myself. Because as long as you're pouring into other people, oh, you're the best person in the world. Until you are emotionally drained, then you're considered as lazy or crazy. Or if you ask for something to be compensated, then you're crazy, right? And then also, you're going after what you desire in every aspect of your life. So, yeah, so some things was definitely passed down. So all the time that you may have thought parents were being sarcastic or negative when they were talking about the things that they saw, or maybe you thought grandparents were being negative and sarcastic about that, guess what? It was passed down to you. Not the sarcasm, the wisdom, right? To watch out for certain types of energies, right? So somebody got it. Somebody definitely got it. And so I definitely see you cutting ties with any kind of fear, doubt, uncertainty. And then here we have the Lover's card. Some kind of partnership in business and or in love is coming across your path. As a result of that, all you had to do was detach from what could have been a karmic situation. You know, a karmic situation is keep pouring into stuff but not recognizing. It's one thing to say, okay, I didn't see that that could have been a karmic situation before it happened, right? But to stay in something to a point of draining, or where people can actually deposit their toxicity from their bloodline and both of their parents into you. Sources saying you've learned how to detach, you know, cut ties, cut the air supply. You're an air sign, right? To cut the air supply and move on beyond that. You know, their judgment, right? Their harsh judgment. Like I said before, you're breaking cycles, chains, and curses. Your ancestors are very proud of you for breaking cycles, chains, and curses. And so even if, let's say, for instance, with all the gifts and talents that were passed down to you, remember, you're inheriting gifts and talents, but also it's what you do with those gifts and talents. You know what I mean? Some people are highly gifted and talented, but they use it for evil. And so you're using your gifts and talents as wisdom to say, okay, I'm wise enough to know when I'm in the presence of people who will drain you dry and take everything from you, versus people who genuinely are appreciative. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you pour into people, like you increase their money, you know, that the money that they didn't have, they don't know where you got the money from, they don't know how you made the money, and you barely get a thank you. Some people, you pour ideas into them and they go off to make a lot of money, and they have this sense of entitlement, like, oh, I've been given so much my life, and you know, it's about time somebody gave to me. But they don't ever stop to thank you, Gemini, that, hey, you know what, let me look out for Gemini. And so that's why I said I feel like you've gained enough wisdom to be able to tell those types of energies up front. Even when, you know, when Gemini season comes around and you're always there for people's birthdays, you're the one that's showing up big for people's birthdays. But when your birthday comes around, you almost hear crickets. It's almost like they trying to look for a reason not to celebrate you the way that they celebrate. Even if their money is funny and their change is strange, it's always some breadcrumbing situation. So sources saying you don't have to keep going along with the flow from that to a point of just getting burned out and frustrated and confused. Oh, maybe they don't have the money, you know. And it's not all about the money. Like people, you're right, it's not all about the money. It's the effort behind it. There's plenty of people who don't have any money that's just like, hey, you know, they listen so intently to what nurtures your spirit. You may not be a person who likes flowers, Gemini. You may be a person who likes cards. You mean they know your birthday, you know, I mean, unless they just met you, your birthday is the same day every year. They got 365 days. If they saved, you know, if they saved, you know, $1, they would have like $1 a day. They would have 365, and then this year be 366. Or if they saved a penny a day, they would at least have a little bit to get you something. And guess what? Even better than that, in a digital age, even if they couldn't afford a card, they can send you an e-card. You know, it's really the thought that counts. And so source is saying to you, when people are looking for you to pour into them, because we're talking about a lot of water here, creativity, we're talking about sensuality, sexuality, so on and so forth. Or even if it's some people who like, even if it's your own kids, when it comes to, you know, their whatever, they're pouring everything into them. You always there to listen. They want to cry on your shoulders. Or a sibling, same thing. But when it comes to pouring everything they got into other things, they give you just the bare minimum. I feel like as a this is your card right here, as a your symbol being a twin, and learning how to just say, hey, my divine masculine to my divine feminine energy is balanced out, and I'm whole and complete. I'm whole and complete without the breadcrumbing, if that makes any sense, right? So yeah, somebody is definitely pouring more into themselves, you know, pouring more into your creativity, your education, those kind of things. So kudos and congratulations. And you feel free. You feel happier, more charismatic. You feel more free, you know, and you're on your throne. Again, knowledge and wisdom. You gain more knowledge and wisdom, just not being connected to those types of energies. So kudos and congratulations to you. Somebody is definitely back in the saddle again. Because if you have the foresight, this is your wisdom and your knowledge that you're breaking cycles, chains, and curses, and you sit around and you watch, like I said, it could have sounded negative to you listening to loved ones complain about certain types of energies, but you gained enough wisdom and knowledge to say, okay, let me not always be talking and running my mouth, and let me not always be just going along with everybody else's flow. Let me sit myself down and be in receiving mode of the messages. That's divine feminine energy, right? Healthy divine feminine energy. Okay, I can already see that I would be doing most of the pouring into this relationship, friendship, job, whatever. I would already see that I'm the strongest link on this project, right? So that's what Source is trying to get somebody to see, is like stay on your throne of your ideas. Somebody has a lot of great ideas, and you're incredibly smart, which obviously you already know that. You all are incredibly smart. So yeah, so here we have High Priestess. So now somebody's tapped into this gift, this High Priestess gift, right? Somebody is saying, hey, look, you know, I have intuition. I can tap into my inner voice. You know, I have the wisdom from within. I'm gonna start, and if it's still unclear, I can always, like I said, flush out any confusion. Just if I feel like I poured too much into one area of my life and I'm missing other stuff in other areas of my life, where it's causing me to be emotionally drained, I can start the process of drinking more water, doing my juice fast, those kind of things, so I can get to this right here, King of Cups. You know, on my throne, king of your emotions. So while you're being compassionate towards people, you're also saying, hey, I need to pull my water back, because I can already see my compassion, my empathy and sympathy is being taken for granted now. I'm in the presence of a taker. I'm not over nurturing that. Here we have Two of Swords. So yeah, this is, you know, you taking the blindfolds off, right? Here we also have the Eight of Pentacles. There's that 8 gifts and talents where I see at least 8 streams of income, you know, for you. So that's what Source is trying to tell you, is that when you're in the company of energies that you're pouring, or you got to do all this extra pouring, and very seldom do they even acknowledge, you know, when you need some pouring into, that's when you need to say, okay, I need to pull back some, right? You don't have to always cut it off, but pull back some. So I definitely see your wishes being fulfilled because of your gifts and talents, and just kind of pulling back in certain areas of your life where you're starting to notice, like, okay, I feel like I'm doing all the pouring. So yeah, your wish is being fulfilled is that somebody meets a love interest that acknowledges what you need when you need it. So Source is saying here, you know, now that you're in the light about some things and you're back in the saddle and you're moving forward, and they couldn't take your happiness, they couldn't take your charisma, they couldn't take change the smile on your face. Sometimes you just know things and say, okay, I'm going to move differently now. Now that I see how they move, I'm moving differently. I don't have to respond cussing people out, get into an argument. Oh, I noticed this and you don't know. None of that. You're just moving differently. You're just moving differently. So, like I said, you're breaking cycles, chains, and curses. And for everybody who knows, I'm uploading the Pluto retrograde video for every zodiac sign. So it doesn't go retrograde officially until May 2nd. So just so you know, it's going to go up if it doesn't go right away. Plus, the 6-month prediction video is already up on the Patreon side, not to inundate anybody on this side. So, and of course, you have the knowledge channel. But this is what's coming your way in terms of business and in love. It's coming across your path. So, like I said, there's 2 types of energies that you're starting to notice that they kind of breadcrumb you. And for whatever reason, sometimes it's not always intentional, just so we're crystal clear so you don't get hung up on that. Sometimes it is intentional. Sometimes people are really just that selfish. But sometimes people are so busy they're so drained themselves because they're connected to other people that drain them, like their family members could be draining them. You could come across as a person who always pays for dinner, pays for lunch. It can be strictly platonic. You're always paying for something because they never have any money, because they won't force people in their own household to get a job, or their friend. They always got to be the life of the party with their friends, but when they come around you, they never have any money. They never have any, they're just always just drained, right? And so Source is saying when you pull back, it may pull back their physical presence, because they can't come around you without, if you say, well, no, I don't have the money to pay for this, or I don't have the money to pay for that, or whatever it is that you've been pouring into them. Or you may give them an idea and they're waiting for you to do all the upfront costs, or you to come up with more ideas or find the funding, or whatever the case may be. Source is saying when you start feeling like it's lopsided, here's the Hermit card, right? Source is telling you when you go back into Hermit mode, Source is saying you're absolutely good enough, you're absolutely worthy, right? That's when you start receiving directly from the master teacher, which is Source. So Source is saying if you are able to attract certain types of people that's almost there, they almost hit the mark, you can absolutely tweak your list of what you want to attract to fit it perfectly, if that makes any sense. So if you have a particular type of love interest and you say, okay, they almost hit the mark, now you know much better in your own evolution what works for you and what doesn't work for you, if that makes sense to somebody, right? So that you don't have to entertain going back to something where you feel like, well, maybe that's the best I could get, and people start making up all kinds of stuff. Maybe at this age, or I put on a little weight, or, I'm not as fast as I used to be, thinking that, okay, the Source is saying, no, you've evolved, but so have other people evolved. So now it's time for you. Your taste may have changed. You may have thought that's what you wanted before, but now you may say, nah, that's not exactly what I want. I know exactly what I want and what I don't want, right? 8 of Swords here. Yeah. You don't have to drive yourself crazy. You've already been through enough hurt and pain. You don't have to drive yourself crazy. So that's what Source is trying to tell somebody. It's like, get on your emotions. You're very wise. You're a very compassionate person. But you have to learn how to also save yourselves, Gemini. You are excellent communicators. You can communicate to Source through prayer and meditation what you want. You can envision yourself with the very group of people that you pray for, because again, more creativity is being passed down to you, and because this is what you're moving towards. This is what Source is protecting: your money. Source is protecting your wealth, right? 5 of Swords, right? Because when you keep on compromising, what other people, like going back and replaying it, I wish I had known this, and I feel like I wasted time. You keep replaying it over and over and over again. You can't see the blessing of not having certain energies in your life anymore. They're not draining you like an energy vampire anymore. So that's what Source is saying. That's what you're starting to recognize, is that you need to start focusing who you want to build your legacy with in business and in love, because you're certainly worthy and you're good enough, right? But had you gone back to something, you would have been throwing yourself right into a complete nightmare. It would have been a karmic situation. So your anxiety about who you're building with is coming to an end, because the more you start thinking about it, you're like, what, I'm so glad that Source sent certain energies across my pathway. At first, I thought that was going to be the best, the best I could attract, or the best, in terms of their career or their money or where they live. And I thought that would have been the best that I could attract. Source is like, no, I got better for you. I got better for you. You have a lot of creativity. You're incredibly smart. The energy of money is very attracted to you. You have a lot of great ideas. You have a great attitude, Gemini. So guess what? I'm about to send the best for you. I'm just trying to tell you that you're not dreaming big enough. You're not speaking bigger into existence. So you absolutely deserve, the best. So that's what Source is trying to tell somebody. It's like a lot of stuff was passed down to you, but you don't have to come across as sarcastic. Source is going to take a leap of faith. That's right. Take a leap of faith. So you are who they prayed for. So whoever it is that you're asking for, other energies, they're not going to try to keep you in a box. Try to put an air in a box and see how that works, right? They're going to try to box you in terms of your thinking. So get locked in and laser focused. Start communicating to Source exactly what you know you deserve. You have the gift of telepathy, transference of thoughts, feelings, and ideas, whether it's intuitively, emotively, or super consciousness. And so you're sending a message to your past that there is no opening. I deserve the best. I don't care what you heard about me. I deserve the absolute best. So you're healing from pain that people from your past caused, right? So again, when you think that your family is being just negative and sarcastic about their life experiences, sources like you can take what you need and turn it around for your good. You don't have to, oh God, they so negative. They told me to never trust this kind of person, trust that kind of person again. That's just a you know, like a message. And so you tweak it for however you want to tweak it, right? So you're gaining more wisdom. There it is. They're telling you based on their personal life experiences. And so you take what works for you and use however you need to use it, when you need to. It's not even about coincidence that source, you know, allowed you to overhear some conversations in your family. That's not by coincidence. So you take whatever you need for you. So allowing. So radical acceptance says yes to reality in any given moment so what's needed can come next. And so the radical acceptance is that you deserve the best because you bring in the best. You know how to communicate. And so that's what you expect in your working relationship. Don't worry about how many degrees a person has or, you know, how much money they say they have and all of this other stuff. Source is like, money is energy. You all are incredibly smart, and the energy of money is just as attracted to you as it is anybody else, Gemini. So come on now, wake up. Wake up. You're not looking for a better half. You are your better half in business and in love. So source is saying give yourself a large cup of compassion. Give yourself a large cup of compassion. So yeah, so here we have the Seven of Wands, and sit down and start envisioning yourself where you're going and with the types of relationships that you're in, right? And start in a posture of gratitude. Thank you, source, that better is coming across my path. Thank you that the best, even if you don't know exactly what to pray for, thank you that the best for me is coming across my path, but where I am in my journey in life. You're not looking for other people's approval. Source is sending new money across your path, right? And things are being sped up for you. So source is definitely fast tracking somebody to whatever it is that you prayed for. So take a leap of faith. You're about to be booked and busy and not burdened at all. But one thing for certain is that you're definitely in the light. You're no longer going through whatever storm you thought you were going through of confusion and chaos. And there are people who are watching. There are energies that are trying to pull you back into some stuff. But see, if you work that hard to come through a storm of people having horrible ideas about you, how you were raised, your wisdom, whether you're smart enough or whatever, you work that hard to step into the light, and they haven't been able to stop anything there except for through your mind, the way you think about yourself. But once you get delivered from that, you like, it's on and popping. It's up, right? So that's the frequency I see that you're on. That's what you're healing from, the pain that a lot of energies from your past cause. So here we have 333. I am powerful. You are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, assisting all of humanity. Live your truths and be a positive light to others. That's what Source wants you to do. That's why you see so much water and air in your cars. It's like you're not giving any more air or power to their manipulation, toxic manipulation, right? Even if it was in your family where you heard just a bunch of negativity about people. So it's like you don't have to give air to that. But what you can do give air to is like, you know, making it funny. You know, so taking that, turning it around. A lot of very painful experiences surrounding the joy, creativity, sensuality, sexuality, healthy range of emotions, fertility, and things that you're passionate about have been turned into jokes. They have been turned into books. They have been turned into podcasts, YouTube channels. Like, use it to make people laugh. You know, so that's kind of what you hear people say, laughter is the best medicine. That's what Source is trying to teach somebody. Is like, yeah, you can take what could potentially cause you to be depressed and sad and say, you know what? I have control over my universe. That's your mind, your way of thinking, right? And I can control, you know, how I use it to actually help people, not hurt people. Right? So that's what I'm saying for you all, that wisdom that was passed down. So affirmations for success. I'm attracting everything I need, right? So it doesn't make people, when you're making people laugh at things that other people are trying to make you seem like you mentally unstable, that you crazy, whatever. You're making people laugh at things. You're attracting people who, in a very relatable way, is like, Everybody has been called mentally unstable at some point. Everybody has been called crazy for dreaming bigger because it's not structured the way other people want you to structure it. But guess what? You're still being led to this. You're still being led to this. And guess what? The only difference is that you're not looking for their approval, whoever they are, humans' approval. Source has already approved you. The wisdom has already been passed down. And you got a bunch of ancestors around you. So what you need them for? To create more nightmares in your life. So I'm attracting everything I need. I am full of highly profitable ideas. I am grounded. I am connected to my highest calling. I am pushing the boundaries of the ordinary, which for me will always be for me. I am committed to my purpose. I am making necessary connections. I am connected to all that supports my highest good. Yeah. What the enemy meant for evil, Source is turning it around for your good. So you used to be the brunt of jokes, and those same people now are asking you for a job. They tuned in, looking at everything you're doing, asking for help. Now, first it was fun. First it was fun to make fun of you, and now you making fun of, you know, the very thing that was supposed to hurt you and drawing other people in. Like you're saying, hey, you can make fun of me if you want to. I'm just going to turn it around to a joke. I'm going to turn it into a joke and make money from it. So, but not at their expense. You're saying, hey, you can't make fun of me. I've already made fun of a situation. I've already laughed at it. I've already healed from that. So you can't make fun. So that's what I'm seeing for you all, Gemini. So continue to make yourselves very wealthy with knowledge, wisdom, creativity, with ideas that you have, and keep investing in yourself, because that's what Source wants somebody to do. That's how you're going to get to King of Pentacles. This is the wealthiest card in the deck. And then, like I said, you operating in your purpose, you'll know exactly who you want to build your legacy with. You're not looking for other people's approval. Matter of fact, you left them in the dust. First question for the moon in Sagittarius: what is your heart yearning to learn and do? Second question is: where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? The third question is: what are the main challenges on your path to your envisioned future? The fourth question is: are there ways to solidify your foundation for taking off, perhaps saving money so that you can leave your job or learning a new skill? And then last but not least is: are you on your path? That's what I have for you, Geminis. Thank you so much for joining me again. Don't forget to set your notifications to all, so you'll see when the videos go up. You'll also get a chance to see when that Pluto retrograde video goes up. We also have digital calendars. We have digital journals below. We also have the YouTube channel, the knowledge channel, in case you want to just kind of improve your knowledge on some things. And below, actually, I'm going to put the Pluto retrograde video that links you to my second channel on the other side. So that way, if you don't know what the link, you can't find the link, it's right in the description. And so it'll take you to the other channel, right? And so obviously we have the 6-month prediction video on the Patreon side. So there's a lot of information there for you to really, really learn and grow, you know, since you all love to learn. That's what I have for you. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.